We often underestimate the true power of our words. Our voices carry meaning, influence, and the ability to bring about change, yet too often we choose silence over expression. Many of us have found ourselves in moments where someone says something untrue or unfair, and instead of speaking up, we remain quiet. The reasons for this are many. First, fear of being wrong, or concern about offending others, or a lack of confidence in our knowledge. Later, we replay the moment in our minds and think, why didn't I say something? Why did I let that go unanswered? For many women, this hesitation to speak up is not simply a personal trait, but a reflection of a deep historical and cultural pattern. We have inherited centuries of conditioning that taught us to minimize our voices. Across the world and throughout history, women were discouraged or even forbidden from expressing opinions, especially in public. Speaking openly was seen as inappropriate, bold, or even dangerous. Girls were raised to believe that silence was a virtue and that the safest way to navigate life was to blend into the background. The idea that a well-behaved woman is a silent woman was not only a family rule in many homes, but also a social law in many communities. In the past, the only safe space for women to voice their feelings was within the pages of a personal diary. Writing in secret allowed thoughts and emotions to flow without judgment or consequence. It became a private refuge, a way to release truth without breaking the rules of society. While diaries were a valuable outlet, they were also a symbol of the silence imposed on us. Yet there were always women who dared to challenge these limitations, women who refused to keep quiet in the face of injustice. One of them was Miller Stewart, a free African American woman who, in the early 19th century, became the first woman in America to address a mixed audience of men and women, both black and white. Her speeches were bold and unapologetic, calling for racial equality, women's education, and moral improvement. At a time when both her race and her gender were considered reasons to remain invisible, she stood before crowds and spoke her truth. Stewart's courage was a spark, showing that the female voice could and should be heard. Still, the road to having women's voices respected was long and uneven. The progress was not swift. Even after Stewart's groundbreaking speeches, it would take decades before women gained the legal, political, and social freedoms to speak openly in public without fear of punishment or ridicule. The right to vote, the right to higher education, and the right to work outside the home were all battles that required women to persistently raise their voices, often in the face of criticism. Today, we live in a different world, one where women's voices are, at least in principle, valued in the public sphere. We can speak, write, publish, and broadcast our thoughts to audiences far beyond our immediate circle. Social media, podcasts, blogs, and public platforms give us a reach that women of the past could only imagine. And yet, despite all this progress, many of us still struggle to fully embrace the value of our word. We sometimes forget that expressing our thoughts is not only a personal right, but also a responsibility. When we remain silent in the face of falsehood or injustice, we allow harmful narratives to stand unchallenged. Speaking up does not always mean confronting someone in anger. It can mean calmly stating the truth, offering a different perspective, or sharing our own experiences so that others may learn from them. Part of the challenge is that confidence in our words must be cultivated. If we grew up without encouragement to speak our minds, it takes time and practice to trust our voice. But every time we share an opinion, defend an idea, or articulate a feeling, we reinforce our own belief in the importance of what we have to say. The more we speak, the stronger and clearer our voice becomes. It is also worth remembering that our words have a ripple effect. We never know who might be listening, reading, or silently taking courage from our example. The young woman who hears you speak confidently at a meeting may find the courage to express her own opinion next time. The friend who hears you defend a truth may feel empowered to challenge misinformation in her circles. Words can inspire, educate, and open doors, not just for us, but for those around us. We stand today on the shoulders of countless women who endured ridicule, dismissal, and even punishment so that future generations could speak freely. That freedom is a gift, but also a responsibility. It is not something to be taken for granted. Every time we choose silence out of fear or self-doubt, we diminish the hard-won progress of those who came before us. Every time we speak with clarity and conviction, we honor their legacy. The value of your word is not measured by whether everyone agrees with you, but by the truth and sincerity it carries. It is your unique perspective, shaped by your life's experiences, that makes your voice irreplaceable. So speak not because you are certain you are right, but because your voice matters in the conversation. Speak because silence has been imposed on women for too long. Speak because the diary pages are no longer the only place your truth belongs. Your word is a force. Use it.